Right. So let's get started. So first wanted to check, is it convenient for everyone to join this meeting? Or is that we lost the habit of waking up early? Hello? Am I audible?
Hi Shiv, yes, you're audible.
I'm audible, right? Okay, so I'm just asking, so is it convenient for everyone to join it? Is that
Uh, Hello? Yeah, network.
Shiv, you are not audible.
You know, audible?
No, sir, you're not audible.
Now,
Yes.
am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I was just asking if this time is convenient for each one of us to join.
Yes, it is comfortable.
Anyone who is not comfortable, has some other commitments.
Yeah, Shiv, just one suggestion. Can it be like two slots, like morning one and evening one, so that whoever has missed in morning can join in the evening? Something like that. Then is it possible?
No, it would be a way lot of time consuming because it's gonna be for 2 hours, right? So again, when for training calls, because we again have a scripts calls also starting soon. So
Okay,
definitely it's gonna be one call for sure.
that makes.
So let's get started. Just share the screen. Audible, right?
You're audible.
Your screen. All can see my screen.
The screen is visible.
Awesome. So
Yes,
please
Shiv.
confirm as well the training pattern. As always, it remains the same, where we will not have anything kind of a Q&A session in the last. Rather, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and just ask. Okay. Across the trainings, there would be no such specific Q&A session in the last 15 minutes or in the last 20 minutes. Rather, what you do is like, as soon as you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask. That is something, let's say, if you're keeping quiet and if you're not involving, if you're not asking the questions, you might not be getting the concept clear. So most probably, the trainings are more focused on helping us understand the concept of it. So A for apple, everyone knows, but why A for only apple? Why not A for aeroplane can be? So that is something the training would be focused on. The most basics and most probably not probably I would say, and mostly knowing the whys and whats of it and how exactly. So that's reason asking a number of questions to understand the concept is really required. So is that echoing too much or is that fine?
It's bit echoing, Shiv.
It is
Echoing,
echoing.
right? I
Yeah.
think in this room it keeps echoing. Let me just go from this. So yeah, as I was telling, the trainings would be more focused on understanding the concept, understanding the basics, because unless we don't really understand the concept, uh, after a couple of sessions, you'll understand the reason I was pushing on understanding the concept, knowing why, what, and hows of it. Because when we go ahead tomorrow and build some of the extensive Boolean strings, that's where these basic concepts will have a understanding of this basic concept will help us. So let's start. Introduction to the sourcing. Uh, so this is going to be our first session. So introduction to sourcing, client recruitment and scheduling, which are basically a part of talent acquisition under HR umbrella. So most of us are actually uh, falls under HR umbrella, uh, unless you're a fresher, but I don't think so. We have any of the freshers. At least we have 6 months to 1 year of experience, and everyone understand what is HR. And then again, under HR, we have a different functions like HRBP, otherwise a talent acquisition. And definitely we are going to be a part of that particular talent acquisition. And now again, under the talent acquisition, a couple of companies are actually setting up a 3 different teams, or some of the companies based on the company strategy, either they'll go with the setting up a 3 different teams, or they'll go with a complete full cycle recruiter. Full cycle recruiter is someone who is doing right from sourcing, right from identifying a right talent to uh, scheduling to interviewing to onboarding to offer rollout to complete end to end, right from the sourcing to the offer rollout. Post offer rollout, whatever the onboarding formalities are there, that's again taken care by either by L&D team or either by HRBP team. So I would not go much in depth in that because we all mostly aware of it, how exactly it functions. However, I just wanted to segregate these 3 things. So when I say introduction to sourcing, introduction to the client recruitment, introduction to the scheduling. So these are the 3 different functions basically when company setting up a 3 different expertise in an organization, where sourcing team is mostly focused on sourcing the right set of profiles and engaging with them, mostly passive candidates, where we are continuously engaging with these candidates to keep the top of the funnel always filled. Then we have a client recruitment who is actually running up um, or who is actually dealing with the business, who is always continuously engaging with the client just to understand. Client means it could be internal, it could be external. End of the day, they are the business, they are the client to whom we are actually serving the requirements. So client recruiter or client recruiting leads are someone who are actually engaged with mostly with the business, just trying to understand their capacity, their upcoming hiring plans, and how exactly we want to strategize the hiring plans. That's what the client recruiter comes in, who is actually more involved in uh, interacting with the client for their strategies and their uh, planning for the upcoming hiring plans. And then the scheduling team is basically, let's say sourcing team has identified the right set of profiles, everything, and they're more busy in engaging with the candidates, preparing the candidates for the interviews, all those things. Now, let's say there's an event which is happening, or there are the interviews which are happening. Okay, sourcer might not be completely get into the interacting with the candidates on their scheduling part. They definitely get into the interacting with the candidate on the interview preparation side of it, or understanding the role and explaining them the role, basically selling them the opportunity. But at the same time, they might not be able to communicate with the business. They might not be able to again and again communicate with the candidate and invest their bandwidth only in the scheduling. So rather, what some of the companies do, they'll have one of the scheduling team from where the sourcing team raises a request, say that, okay, fine, this is the candidate, these are the list of interviewers. List of interviewers, client recruiter will get us the list of interviewers. And then from other end, we raise a request, okay, fine, he's the candidate, they're the candidate, he or she, and these are the dates available, and these are the interviewers, list of interviewers. So we raise a ticket, we raise a request to the scheduling team so that they just cross coordinate with those interviewers and candidate to see which is the best possible match at time so that they can go ahead and schedule their interviews. So that's how these 3 different functions: sourcing, client recruitment, and scheduling. However, it's not necessary in all the companies they should follow this kind of 3 different stuff. But It depends. It depends on company strategies, depends on company's bandwidth, depends on company's budget. Either they go with a full stack hiring, either they go with a having the three different teams. If you ask me, I've been into the all the three different stages. I've been into the sourcing, I've been into the client recruiting, I've been into the scheduling, I've been into end-to-end, I've been into full cycle. I've seen all the side of this particular table. And now I'll just take a pause. Any doubts, questions, or anything on the sourcing, client recruiting, and the scheduling?
Shiv, can you explain what scheduling is once again?
Scheduling is mostly like now neither a client recruiter nor a sourcer will actually get into the task of scheduling a candidate's interview. So in scheduling candidates interview, what we need to do, we need to identify when the candidate is available for the interview. At the same time, we need to see when are the slots available from the interviewing team, basically from the technical teams. So basically the sourcing team scheduling team cross coordinates with candidate as well the interviewers and try to see which is the best possible time that they can get these two people on board so that they can go ahead and schedule the interviews. So scheduling team is mostly involved in scheduling the interviews. Apart from that, planning for the events, planning for the weekend events or planning for the regular walk-in events or anything like that. So they are mostly involved in scheduling the candidates for their interviews.
Sir, what is the job role for client recruitment?
So they basically involved in interacting with the clients, interacting with the business, understanding what is the current strength looks like, understanding what is the future hiring looks like, understanding if they can hire someone internally. So all those things, what they're doing, they're not sourcing, but they're mostly engaged in involving a business and strategizing a roadmap for them for their hiring strategy. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Shiv.
Anyone else? Any other further questions on what does sourcing team do, what does client recruiter do, and what does scheduling team do? Definitely, which are basically a part of a talent acquisition under HR umbrella, but these three functions has three different specialties. Sourcing team, which is most focused on identifying a right candidate through active and passive channel. When I say active and passive channel, they would go with a Naukri, LinkedIn, Monster, all the various job portals. Apart from the various job portals, they go with a GitHub, Stack Overflow, All Stack Exchange, all the passive job portal. Not a job portal, but all the passive uh, sourcing channels. And once they identify the right candidate, might not be a candidate is ready for an interview today, but they can be a future prospect. So they keep that touch with the candidate. They keep that engagement with the candidate so that whenever the candidate is looking out for a change, they just come back to us and they say that, hey, you know what, Shiv, I'm looking out for a change now. You had pitched me an opportunity a long time ago, but that time I wasn't ready. But now I'm ready. Can you please schedule my interview? So sourcing team is trying to make sure that the top of the funnel is always full. It's not that tomorrow client comes and says that, hey, you know what, I have really an urgent requirement for this particular role. Can you get me? Then client recruiter interacts with us and they say that, hey, you know what, this business has this particular requirement on a very urgent basis and it's kind of a burning. Can you get us within 24 hours? So the sourcing team is making sure that within 24 hours we are delivering because we have a top of the funnel always filled. And we're not saying that, hey, you know what, we don't really have a funnel. We would need at least 2 or 3 working days or 3 to 4 working days to give you the right set of a candidate. That might not happen because we have a sourcing team who is actually scheduling for our recurring role at least on a regular basis. And for some of the niche roles on a regular basis and keeping the top of the funnel always filled. And the client recruiting team, client recruiter is always engaging with the business, trying to foresee what kind of requirements might come up, who is going to resign, or who is going to come on the bench, all the strategies, so that they keep the sourcing team informed to be ready with such kind of a profiles. And at the same time, scheduling team, they're kind of a ad hoc. Whatever the request comes, whatever the request comes in their dashboard, okay, fine. I got a 10 request today. I need to schedule all the 10 candidates. Let's divide the work and let's schedule all the 10 candidates. And they're always up for scheduling candidates. And that's how these three different functions under the talent acquisition umbrella operates: sourcing, client recruiting, and scheduling. So I'll just take a pause. Any further doubts? Saifa, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'll just take a pause. Any further doubts? What does sourcing team do? What does scheduling team do? What does client recruiting team do? So basically, these are three different specialties under talent acquisition.
Sir, can you
We're
please
good?
explain client recruitment once again?
So client recruitment is basically mostly involved in interacting with the business. When I say mostly involved with interacting with the business, in every company, we have the um, variety of BUs, business units, or variety of teams. Let's say there's a DevOps team, there's a QA team, there's a backend team, there's a front-end team, there's a full stack team. So this client recruiter is actually interacting with all the various businesses, trying to see what is their current capacity today and trying to understand, let's say from backend team, now they're interacting with the managers. Now, let's say when I'm interacting with one of our business, I'm asking, okay, fine, how is the current growth looking like? How is the current path looking like as per the project alignment? Let's say now this manager says, I'm getting a new project from so and so region. And I definitely see that I lack a number of developers to implement that particular project. Or let's say I wanted to implement this particular feature in existing product, but I'm lacking a number of developers to implement that particular project. And I would definitely need some of the additional resources, and additional resources in the sense they might say a junior resource, they might say a senior resource, they might say a managerial resource, variety of resources. I would need additional resources. So that is something the client recruiter is keeping a close touch with the business and trying to understand their upcoming needs. And accordingly, they're keeping a sourcing team informed that this might be the upcoming need. Just start building a pipe for this, because tomorrow, after a week or after 10 days, when actually it becomes a requirement, when actually this engineering manager or this VP or this director raises a request in the organization uh, for that particular role, it goes through the variety of approvals. And by the time it gets approved and comes to the recruiting team, by then the sourcing team is already ready. But the client recruiter is actually responsible to foresee that particular roles, to foresee and to understand, to get in touch with the business and understand what are their upcoming needs. And as per that, they're planning. And as per that, they're backtracking the plan. That could be for the whole year, that could be for the half year, that could be for the quarterly, that could be for the weekly. But they're actually involved in mostly interacting with the business and trying to understand their upcoming needs. Does that answer your question? Hello?
Yes, sir. Understand.
Awesome.
Yeah, just one question, Shiv. Good morning. When you say sourcing team keeps the funnel full, does that translate to for every regular requirement? Let's say one requirement. Do they keep 3 or 4? What is the basic thing they
Most
keep?
of the times, for recurring requirements, not just one or two, there are some hundreds of profiles already in the pipe.
Okay. Understand. Okay, thanks.
So that tomorrow, as soon as a recruiting team, client recruiting team, who is actually not interacting with the candidates, but interacting with the business and says that, hey, you know what, there's a role which is undergoing the approval chain. Why don't you keep a pipeline healthy, which might come to us in a week or 2 weeks, so that we are ready with the healthy pipeline as a sourcing team. And as soon as it comes, immediately we are sharing our profiles with the hiring manager for the review.
Understood. Yeah, thanks.
Instead of making hiring manager or making a business wait, let the requirement come, let the approval happen. Generally, what happens in full stack hiring, someone who is involved in doing, or any companies which are involved in doing a full stack hiring, right from the sourcing to the offer rollout, in those kind of teams, the roles are ad hoc. So in that teams, definitely the business has to wait. Business first has to raise a request for the particular requisition. It gets approved, then it comes to us. Then again, we'll start a fresh sourcing. Maybe there might be a situation that we have already a healthy pipe. Again, in this full stack hiring also, I will say uh, this full stack recruiter, what I've seen in some of the companies, they are specialized. When I say they're specialized either for front end, either for back end, either for QA, either for DevOps, or either for non-tech or non-SD or anything. When I say they are specialized, let's say I worked earlier as a SD3 recruiter, and I'm a specialized and I was doing kind of a full stack hiring. SD3 is equivalent to the architect or equivalent to the staff or a principal engineer. I was actually doing a full stack hiring for the architects. So what I was doing, I had a continuous pipe ready. I was continuously sourcing. I was continuously engaging with the candidates. I was continuously reaching out to the candidates, and I was continuously keeping a pipe healthy so that tomorrow, if any business comes in and asks me, hey, I have a requirement, then immediately I have a candidate. So in full stack hiring, unless we're not having a specialty of that particular one particular role or two particular role, becomes really difficult for us to serve it to the business. Tomorrow business comes, ask the requisite, ask us a requirement to fill, then we will wait for some days, then we'll again go back, we'll source, and by the time we get actual delivery, it takes really a lot of time. So rather, in case if we are involved in full stack hiring, it's always better to have that pipeline healthy and to have that expertise in one particular skill and build that. And in this program also, what we're trying to do is like we're actually trying to not make you understand on a 10 different track, but actually make you expertise on one particular or two particular skills, so that wherever you see that particular skills, you go ahead and pick up those roles. And you always have a healthy pipe, and you're not waiting either for a client or either for a candidate. Let's say you get a candidate and you see, okay, fine. If not in this particular portal, I'll search a job for this particular candidate in 10 different portal, and then try to see wherever the best I can fix, because you got the expertise for that particular skill. Tomorrow, a client also, when they say I have a front end requirement, and whoever is gaining that expertise on a front end requirement, tomorrow if the client sees that once we earn trust from the client, once we get that confidence from the client, if there is a front end, okay, fine, this person is a person to reach out. Whenever I should reach out to this particular person, he or she should always have the pipeline healthy for a front end engineer. So that expertise is what we need to build on a particular skill or on a particular role. So that's where either a full stack or either sourcing comes largely into the picture, because we are actually continuously focusing on building the pipe for those particular skills. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts, any questions?
Yeah, here just one more part I would like to add. Like requirements, the JDs are different for for each requirement. So the person like us, he will have to build up his skill set onto the skills or the technologies required for each JD. Also, we'll have to evolve also, no, ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. See, I would see. So understanding the requirements, understanding the JDs, definitely that's one particular skill. But if we actually guide it on our day-to-day life, what kind of applications, what are we using? Let's say if I ask you, name me 3 different applications, what are we using today? Anyone? And we are actually using it, but just name it.
I mean, daily use apps you're asking for?
Yeah, regular on day-to-day. What are the
We
kind
use
of
both.
applications we are using?
No,
And we are
relevant to
using it.
sourcing. Are
Yeah,
you asking relevant to sourcing? Is it?
No, in general.
you.
Application
use
is application. On a very high level, application is application. What are the 3 different types of application we are using?
One is Zoom.
Okay.
we use WhatsApp on daily basis.
LinkedIn,
We use LinkedIn.
Okay.
Facebook, Instagram,
Awesome.
Snapchat.
Awesome. So now let me come back. What are these types of application? Definitely LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, WhatsApp. If I tell you types, WhatsApp is mobile application. LinkedIn is mobile and web, both. Zoom is actually mobile and desktop. So desktop application, mobile application, web application. So try to see everything in that point of view. It would make us really easy to understand the JD tomorrow. What is full stack? What is backend? What is front end? What is middleware? What is all those stuff? So we don't really have to scratch our head to understand the JD that in detail. We try to relate that with our regular life is more than enough. We have a half understanding of it because we have actually used it. When we say that we are looking for someone who has developed the mobile applications, so then definitely I would look for a people who would have developed the apps which are existing in my mobile. I would go behind the companies which are existing in my mobile, all those applications. If someone says, okay, fine, I'm looking out for a person who has built this web application, I would definitely see what are the web application we are using in our day-to-day life. And I'll just build a list of companies and go behind them. If someone is saying, I'm looking out for someone who has worked on a desktop application, definitely I would list down all the applications which are available on our desktop and go behind those companies. So it's actually easy. It's not that rocket science. It's just that we have to always connect with our real-time life and try to understand, and the things will become really easy. So definitely understanding a JD, I would say, is a skill, but we'll develop it very fast. For sure, don't worry about it. Does that answer you, sir?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's about the first part. Now, I'll just again take a pause. Any further doubts? And don't think that I'm asking so many doubts. Please ask as many as possible.
Yeah, nothing as of now,
Okay to
Shiv.
go slow,
Maybe
but
nothing as of now. Maybe once we go further and once we discuss when we are relating the topics at that point of time, yes, we might.
awesome. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so now what is search and what is keyword search on a web? Anyone here?
So we search the candidates according to the requirement. So if, for example, if we want to search for a full stack developer, then in the platforms like LinkedIn, Naukri, or those platforms, we search with the keyword like full stack developer, or with particular location like Bangalore or Hyderabad, then we search Bangalore or Hyderabad. And in that also some requirements will be there from the client side. So with that particular keywords, we search the candidates for targeting the exact skill set and the location, and with some other criteria.
Awesome. HP, what's your name, by the way?
Sorry, it was not audible.
No, what's your name I'm asking? Because I could see as a HP.
Oh, okay. Bala here. Bala Krishna.
Bala, right. Great. Awesome. Okay, Vinay asked if we can provide a JDs to work on from the next session. Vinay, it will take some time to reach that level. Just hold your patience. I know we are excited, but we'll go step by step. Okay. So yeah, Bala, as you mentioned, as per the requirement, we are searching for particular resume or particular profile on a variety of platforms. Absolutely correct. But when we go for basics, let's go with the basic. What is search? Search is search. We're searching for something is search. Simple. It could be a profile, it could be a food, it could be anything. It could be a restaurant, it could be a hotel, it could be anything. When we are saying keyword search on a web, again, it could be anything. Restaurant near me, hotel near me, hospital near me, schools near me, spa near me, or whatsoever near me. So that is something we are searching on a web. That becomes a keyword. When we are saying, let's say, restaurant near me, okay, I'm planning to eat something delicious food in the particular location, then I would say, okay, fine, restaurant near me, and I would see the ratings and I would go over there. So in this thing, What is my requirement? I wanted to have some delicious food. I want to have some good food, and I wanted to have it in some good restaurant. So what I'm trying to do is like, okay, fine. Restaurant becomes my keyword. Similarly, let's say if I go to some of the location like Goa, okay, and the trip is completely unplanned, and I'm going there, and after that, after going to the destination or any tourist destination, after going there, I'm planning to search for a hotel. So that hotel becomes a necessity for me. That hotel becomes a requirement for me. That hotel becomes a JD for me, and I start searching for hotels near me. And I could search it on a web, or I could go there and ask to any shopkeeper or to anyone over there, hey, can you please tell me which is the best hotel over here? यहाँ पे अच्छा होटल कहाँ मिलता है? ये बजट में, something like this. And then people are saying, hey भैया वहां पर जाओ, वहां पर जाओ, वहां पर जाओ. So that is passive search. Active search, I'm searching on web where the pool is available and seeing the rating and going accordingly. But passive, a referral search where I'm asking people. Similarly, in our recruiting world also, what we are doing, a passive search, we're going to the variety of forums. We're going to the unconventional site. We're going to the non-traditional sites and trying to search a profiles over there. So definitely search has a two types of searches. One is an active search where we are searching for a people, or where we're searching for a profile, or where we're searching for a things where the information is largely available on the web. And the second type of a search is basically a passive search, which comes to as an employee referral, which comes to as a we're going to some non-traditional sites. We're not going to Naukri, LinkedIn, or Monster. Rather, we're going to the GitHub, Stack Overflow, All Stack Exchange, or we are joining some of the groups on Telegram, or we're joining some of the groups on Facebook, or we're joining some of the groups on Instagram. Variety of groups we are joining, and that's where we are going and identifying a people. Okay, fine. That's where we learn how to source from Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, all those stuff. So that becomes a passive search. So two types of searches, active and passive. Active search, where the information is largely available on the web. Passive search, I'm going to gully gully and asking, भैया ये किधर मिलता और अच्छा किधर मिलता. That becomes my passive search. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubt in active and passive search?
Not exactly, but how passive search is used in recruiting? Any sort of example? Because active search, we got to know that we should do it from sites like LinkedIn or anywhere. But how we do passive search in recruiting?
Exactly. Passive search in recruiting, we're going to non-traditional sites. We're not going to LinkedIn, Naukri, or Monster. Rather, we're going to GitHub, Stack Overflow, All Stack Exchange, or variety of sites. Like if I have to show you, mm, 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 mm. Okay, so this is one of my blog where I've customized number of search engines. These here will reach, but this is just to showcase how exactly this works.
Uh-huh.
So let's say I just go here. So first we have a little bit of ads, that's Google feature. But after that, if you see, we have a list of profiles who are actually coding on GitHub, who are actually available on GitHub. They might not be an active job seeker. They are not on a Monster, Naukri, or such kind of a sites, but they're available over here. So we would go source candidates from GitHub, make a large list, and start reaching out to them and start pitching them. You know what? I have an exciting opportunity, and I'm working on this particular role on a recurring basis for the variety of clients. And then they say, okay, fine, might not be I'm looking out for today, but definitely I would come back to you tomorrow. So that becomes my passive pool of candidates who are actually not actively looking out, but we are building a pipe of such passive candidates. And our trainings are mostly focused on how do we expertise on those passive sourcing, actively sourcing passive candidates. As simple.
Got
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sure.
Awesome.
Shiv, what about the referrals and the third-party vendors, assistants come under? Does it come under passive search?
Referrals, passive. Third party, again active, because third party is again going, agencies, vendors again going and searching on job portals. But at the same time, uh, they're also searching on a passive portal. But I've seen very rarely that they're doing a passive sourcing. Mostly they go for an active sourcing. But what we build as expertise as our talent partners to our clients is we're having a pool of active and passive candidates both, because we are building that particular expertise on a particular scale. So it depends from where are we sourcing as a vendor or as a partner. It depends to define whether we are doing an active or passive.
Okay, got it.
All right. So let's start capturing the notes right away. Sorry. Ching. Nation. So, passive search is basically searching for a pool or information from non-traditional ways, like without using any job portal or any sites which are selling the data. When I say sites which are selling a data, let's say if I'm searching for a hotel, instead of going to Trivago, instead of going to any such site, I'm getting the information from the local vendors, local people, and trying to give my requirement. भैया ये बजट है मेरा, मेरे को कुछ इस टाइप का होटल चाहिए, थोड़ा क्लीन नीट, जहाँ पे फैमिली जाके रह सके और जहाँ अच्छा खाना मिल सके, लेकिन ऐसे ऐसे बजट में. And that's where the local vendor is actually suggesting me the right hotel where I can go. Similarly, on a web also, which is largely available like Trivago or Make My Trip or such site, which are selling the data basically. If I'm searching over there, then that becomes an active search. But if I'm going into the gullies of the places, then that becomes my passive search. And in this trainings, we learn both passive and active. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts on passive and active?
No, sure.
Awesome. Okay, so going for what is Google suggestion or say Google direct answers. Let's say here we come. What do I search? What is software? What is software engineering? Okay, now if you see, we typed only for a what is software engineering, but Google has started suggesting something. What is software engineering in computer science? What is software engineering explained? What is software engineering MCQ? What is software engineering in BCA? What is software engineering diversity? What is software engineering in its characteristics? What is software engineering paradigm? What is software engineering in Hindi? What is software engineering salary? So I just type for what is software engineering, but Google has started suggesting a list of things. So we might not see this today as a relevant, but once we go tomorrow and once we start sourcing, we know we'll understand why I was telling this after a couple of sessions, why this relevancy actually helps to understand. And how does this Google gives this relevancy? Why only this set of 10 questions are coming? Why not what software engineering eats? What software engineering, when software engineering sleeps? Why is it not suggesting those kind of a suggestions? Because these are the question largely asked on a Google by a variety of users across the globe. When they're searching for what is software engineering, their next immediate search would be what is software engineering in computer science. What is software engineering? There might be some of the blogs which has explained what is software engineering. What is software engineering? MCQ. There might be some of the sites where we have a MCQs. When student is going for a or trying to understand what should I choose in my degree now, they might be searching what is software engineering in BCA. How does it differ from BTech to the BCA? So these are the searches based on our location, based on our IP address. In my location, in my IP address, these are the searches where largely people would have searched. And that's where Google is going and giving us a search suggestions. Now, let's say we enter. Okay. After entering this question, after asking finally, what is software engineering? One is like when I'm typing in a search bar, what is software engineering here? It's giving me the list of suggestions. Is that I'm asking to ask this? So Google is trying to predict over here what this person is going to ask. And how is that going to predict? Basically based on a large, huge amount of searches. Google has prepared the data, and whoever is trying to search for what is software engineering, that person might be searching for these things. And that's where it's trying to predict it and trying to showcase us. So that's basically a predictive analysis. Once we are hiring for some of the data science or data engineers, then definitely that predictive analysis, prediction. We're doing a prediction for a future based on the existing data analysis. We're analyzing the existing data and we're predicting the future. Based on that, we are suggesting the suggestions or a products. So keep a note, predictive analysis. What is predictive analysis? We are actually predicting. Analysis, we are predicting the data, we are analyzing the data, and based on that, we are throwing some suggestions. Is basically a predictive analysis. And here, the search suggestions are also actually coming in based on those predictive analysis. Now, once we enter this here, so that's again a Google search suggestions, which are purely driven by predictive analysis. Now, once we come here, again, people also ask for, after asking this particular question, so this is based on the predictive analysis, based on the data. And again, second set of people also ask for, whoever asks for this question, there might be a people, again, a use data, a large data. This is not predictive analysis. This is analysis based on the past. Okay, people who search for what is software engineering, they are the people who also search for what is software engineering definition, what is software engineering with example, what is software engineering and types. Is software engineering easy? So someone who has asked on a web, what is software engineering? The probability that person is also asking, what is software engineering definition? What is software engineering with example? What is software engineering and types? Is software engineering easy? One is understanding Google search suggestions. These are the Google search suggestions, which are purely driven by predictive analysis based on the past data. people are trying to search, when people are also trying to search, based on that, it's predicting whether whether this human is going to ask this or not. It's analyzing a past data, a huge metadata. It's analyzing a huge metadata and trying to predict and trying to give me the search suggestion. Similarly, people also ask for, based on again the use data, uh, when someone has searched for what is software engineering, people has also searched for what is software engineering definition, what is software engineering with example, what is software engineering and types, is software engineering easy? So I'll just take a pause. Any doubt, any confusion on what is Google suggestion, Google search suggestion, or say Google direct answer? Any doubts, any questions?
Sir, what is the difference between the long search bar and the short where Google is written?
Both are same, in fact. Some people prefer to search here, they open Google and they search, and some people prefer to search here. Nothing difference.
Okay.
When I was a fresher, to the IT world, I was actually going on a Google and trying to type Google. Once I get a Google, then I'll search here. But once we understood, or again, after Google comes in, I'll just type here, and then here I'll start typing my search. But over a period of time, we learned, we evolved. We know that searching here or searching here doesn't make a difference. Both are same. But very interesting question. Who was that?
Sir, Shruti.
Awesome. That shows your keenness to learn, actually, in fact. And trust me, in last couple of years, no one asked me this question. But these are the kind of a questions which actually we should be asking. What is the difference between this long search bar and what is the difference between this small search bar? If we really want to learn a magic of sourcing, these are the questions what definitely we should expect. Thanks, Shruti. That was really an amazing question.
My pleasure, sir.
Agree? Rest of us?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Sure. Please unmute yourself. Be excited. It's early morning. Why so quiet?
No, I understood. Like the things which you said was very clear.
Yeah. Yeah, as you mentioned, Shiv, like being keen and understanding the situation and asking questions is more important because that's what the recruiting needs.
Absolutely. Unless we don't ask some uncomfortable questions, we might not be learning to overcome that uncomfortability.
Exactly.
Awesome. So where is this? Okay. What is Google search suggestion and Google direct answer? So every session, every batch has a new learning. So tomorrow we'll create one more batch. There might be examples would be different. There might be a new learning.
Hi, Shiv.
Hmm.
Actually, my network was bad. I couldn't hear. So, could you please repeat this once?
Sure. Awesome. So we were checking what is Google search suggestion. Okay. So when I
Yeah.
say what is Google search suggestion, let's go back again quickly. Okay, now we search for what is software engineering. Now in a drop down, we see there are 10 different questions similar to what is software engineering. What is software engineering in computer science? What is software engineering explained? What is software engineering MCQ? What is software engineering in BCA? What is software engineering diversity? What is software engineering and its characteristics? What is software engineering paradigm? What is software engineering in Hindi? What is software engineering salary? So whoever has searched for what is software engineering, their next immediate search is something, a set of from this particular 10 questions. And how these 10 questions came in? Basically, Google has read a lot of data of past and tried to understand if someone is searching for what is software engineering, what is that they're actually trying to search for. Basically, Google is trying to predict our searches. So that is called predictive analysis. Google search suggestions are purely driven by predictive analysis based on the data, the past searches. So it's analyzing the past data, predicting it. That's the reason we call a technology as a predictive analysis. We're analyzing a past data, predicting it, and giving us suggestions. So that is basically a predictive analysis in a layman language, which is a part of either a data science, data analysis, or machine learning or AI. Not AI, maybe machine learning. So these are purely driven by predictive analysis, where it's analyzing a past data and trying to give us a suggestions. So that is basically a Google search suggestions. All right.
Sure.
Shiv, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. No, just actually, I am just cross-checking. My mic was not working that time. I left the meeting and rejoined again. Okay, it's working.
No
fine.
problem.
Yeah.
Shiv, I have one more question. You were also mentioning that this is the topmost searches in your IP address or in your area from wherever you're operating. And in case if people, whoever are joining this meeting from their own places, if they search, it might show something else in the remaining 10 options that it is throwing, right?
See, the differences would be very minimal.
Okay.
Very minimal. If I have to give you a right answer, don't take me wrong. It's more or less like your girlfriend is analyzing your behavior and giving a pattern of suggestions. Oh, ye kyun kar rahe, wo kyun kar rahe, aisa kyun kar rahe, waisa kyun kar rahe. Similarly, a nature of boys remains the same. So whichever the IP address you're searching for, it's gonna be a right suggestions only.
All right.
Okay.
And Shiv, this will, this particular concept will help us in doing sourcing going forward, right? That is why you're explaining this Google
That is why
search.
we are doing it.
Search.
So basically understanding the technology, there are people who are new to the technology. So understanding the technology. So these are actually the basics which eventually help us to brush up our technical skills, to understand the to understand the requirement correctly, to understand the keywords correctly, which are the keywords I should be searching for if this is the JD given to me. So this is actually, when I say eventually our goal, not here. Wait a second. Okay, so right from the introduction, where eventually, finally, we'll close with design thinking for sourcers. So all these things will help us to build that design thinking for sourcers and recruiters. Understanding problem statements, real-time scenario faced frequently while sourcing, how and where to identify some cool apps, design thinking again for sourcers, exploring some sourcing forums to follow, to ask questions and keep learning. So when I said design thinking for sourcers, all this will help us to get there. And
Sure,
that's where the basics are really important.
sure. Thank you. Thanks for explaining this.
Yeah. And again, as coming back, based on a huge data, based on the huge past information, past data, Google is actually trying to predict and analyze and suggesting us. Simple thing. Let's say if you're a girlfriend and you wanted to go out and you're searching for some of the food or anything, then you'll realize all those stuff. Hey, why don't we go again there? You had liked the food over there. Why don't we have a food again over there? Similarly, the nature of voice remains same. So wherever from whichever the IP you're searching, the suggestions will keep on coming the almost same. All right.
Yeah, Shiv, just one
Yeah, sure.
question. Yeah, depending upon the requirement, from the client, do I decide I have to look only at active portals or passive also?
We'll look for both. So
We'll
one
look
more
for
thing to your question, Vasudha. That's an interesting question. In fact, closely within the countries, those suggestions might not make a difference, but based on country to country, it might make a difference. Country to country IP addresses,
Yeah.
provided a nature of the country, provided a language of the country, provided a system of the country. There might be a slight differences. So someone who is searching in India, if same thing, if you're searching in US, slightly the differences might be there. There's a probability of a slight changes, but not a large changes, because these are again global driven platforms.
Correct.
And this is again catching a data globally, but when it showing up in my IP address, it's trying to give as relevant as possible. But mostly first 5-6 questions would be same, maybe last few questions. I think Uma, you're there in the call.
Yes, Shiv, I'm here in the call.
Would you mind sharing your screen and try searching for what is software engineering and what Google is suggesting?
Give me one quick minute.
Let me stop my share. You can take it. So she's in San Francisco. Let's take a live example.
That's great.
So Uma, you're on a laptop or a mobile?
I'm on the laptop. Can you enable screen sharing for me?
Yeah, just give me a second. I'll have to make you host. Allow. Okay, I just made you a host. And again, make me a host, because once you're a host, the recording will be on your system.
Okay, sure. So do you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so what is it you wanted me to search for?
What is software engineering? On top bar. Software engineering.
Are you able to
Space
see the
engineering.
suggestion?
That is only what is software suggestion. Space engineering. We want to see what is software engineering suggestion. Just
Yeah,
type
so
space. No,
so when I
don't
say
search
software,
for. Don't search
yeah,
for.
when I say software engineering, these are the following
Just
suggestions.
type complete engineering. That's it. What is software engineering? What is software engineering Reddit? What is software engineering? Simple definitions. Engineering versus development, engineering characteristics, PPT, example, interest, salary in computer science. So more or less, the questions are similar, but you see there's a slight change in a pattern. Can you please again search what is software engineering in a top tab? Open a new tab. Open a new tab.
Give me 1 minute.
No, that plus is there. No, just open a new tab.
I have to remove this. Hang on one quick.
Shiv, should she search in incognito? What do you say?
Huh?
So,
We'll search.
can Uma
No,
search
Uma,
it
just open a
incognito?
new tab. Now type what is software engineering. Just type everything. What is software engineering? Okay, now if you see what is software engineering computer science, what is software engineering manager, what is software engineering like, software engineering salary, what is software engineering major, what is software engineering simple definition, software engineering test, software engineering degree. So there are some slight changes when I'm searching on my laptop and Uma is searching on her laptop from the two different locations. And similarly, yeah, Uma, you can make me a host now.
Yeah, Shiv, there is a spelling mistake there, what she's searching.
But I think it's fine. Google is automatically taking the correct spelling.
That's fine.
Now it got changed, but
So there are some slight changes. Okay. But that are the behaviors, kind of a behaviors that we need to observe. The reason because let's say tomorrow if you're searching up profiles for some of the European locations, it's always better to go to Google dot that country specific. Like if I'm searching in India, it's google.co.in. If I'm searching in US, it's google.com. If I'm searching in Singapore or searching for a profiles in Singapore, I would go Google dot instead of .com, I'll go SG. Similarly for UK, google.uk. Similarly for Germany, GE. So like that, what we're doing is we're trying to go a country specific Google and trying to search for a profile to get more relevancy. Yeah, Uma, you can stop the share and make me the host.
Sure.
Just go to my name from the participants and make me a host.
She was just using this time actually. So are you sharing the recording? I missed literally 30 minutes of this, assuming like the session is from 11 o'clock.
No, I'll be sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see if it is getting recorded. Most of the times I miss. Pause recording, stop recording. Yeah, it's getting recorded.
Are you the host now?
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. So that's all about Google search suggestions or say Google direct answers. So let's catch up one more question in this. Suggestions or
This has become a new.
Hmm?
I'm saying this is a new question which has come up.
Yeah, that's how it has to be. So does the Google search suggestion or a search result differs from IP to IP or does it remains the same? It differs. Behavior of based on the behavior of searches in those IP location. So IP, what is IP?
Internet protocol.
That we know, but in layman language.
It's a name to identify. It's a address. We can say it's address.
It's a zip code. It's an address. So physical address, I'm in my home. I'm staying in Vartur. So it's my physical address. Similarly on internet, where I'm staying on IP. IP is my location. IP is my address. So internet address and a physical address. Physical address, which is our home, where we are staying, or our office, where we're going to work, or a particular shop, or anything, where they have a physical presence on earth, sea, or wherever. IP address is basically an address over internet. To keep it simple, over internet. Let's keep it over internet. Let's not make it more complicated, but definitely we'll make it more complicated going forward based on the requirement needs. For now, just have understanding that IP is my internet address. Okay. Now on that internet address, let's say I'm in a Karnataka now. There might be a people from Hyderabad. There might be a people from Pune. There might be a people from Mumbai. There might be a people from Delhi. There might be a people from Kolkata. There might be a people from Bihar in our call today. You search for biryani near me, your search results and my search results, your search suggestion and my search suggestion will be different because the behavior of that location, availability around that location. In Bangalore, I might get Donne biryani, I might get Ambur biryani, I might get some XYZ biryani. But in Hyderabad, I would only get Hyderabadi biryani. I would not get Donne or I would not get something like that. But in Hyderabad, if I'm searching, I would get either Hyderabadi or Nizami or Andhra, all those stuff. Similarly, in Kolkata, I might not get Andhra biryani, I might not get Donne biryani, or I might not get Ambur biryani. I might get Kolkata biryani. I might get that Kolkata aloo biryani. I might get fish biryani. I might get some or the other stuff. So based on the IP, based on the address and the availability of a things around that address, Google is giving us the suggestions. Simple?
Yes, Shiv.
Awesome. So that basically depends on behavior of searches in those location or behavior of search or based on the behavior of searches or things available in those IP locations. Simple. For example, dum, not Hyderabadi, dum here they say. Feeling hungry?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. You are mentioning different types of food names, and now
All right.
Parallelly,
How,
I started searching, in fact.
hmm?
Parallelly, I started searching, in fact.
Started ordering
yeah,
which
I guess
hotel
we are
got opened.
increasing the revenue for Zomato and Swiggy now.
Similarly, Kolkata biryani, aloo dum biryani, fish biryani. One more. Some biryani I had in Kolkata. That was also really amazing, but I forgot. All right. For example, if I'm based in Bangalore and searching for a biryani near me, I might see the suggestions of Ambur biryani, Danne biryani, or Dum biryani. However, if we are searching for the same from Hyderabad or Kolkata, the suggestions might not be same. It could be Hyderabadi biryani, Paradise biryani, Andhra biryani, Meghna biryani, also from Hyderabad. And similarly, Kolkata biryani, aloo dum biryani, fish biryani, if I'm searching in Kolkata. Good. That's a good question, by the way. Thanks, Vasudha. So that's about Google search suggestions, or say Google. Yeah. Anything, Vasudha?
That's it, Shiv.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, that is about Google search suggestions, or say Google direct answer. How to identify organic and inorganic search result. First, understand what is organic and inorganic. Okay, anyone here? What are organic and inorganic search results?
For me, organic means it's by the SEO and all.
Can I try, Shiv?
And inorganic
Yeah.
means it may be like paid one, advertised.
Yeah, Vasudha, you can also try.
So, am I audible?
Yeah. You're audible, Vasudha.
Yeah, so I feel what my understanding is organic search results are those results probably which are free. The companies or the product or the service which is getting displayed when we search on web, the searches which are free might be called, organic search results. And the searches which are paid searches, the company is paying to, market that particular product or service, it might be called inorganic. Is that correct?
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. You're spot on. So organic, when we are searching for something which are freely available based on the rating, based on the visits on that particular website. Inorganic, where company is paying money to Google in a backend to optimize it. And basically that's a part of SEO, search engine optimization. And when I'm doing some program to get our website on top of the searches, when some people are searching for so and so, that time our ads are showing up. So now on this page, which are organic and which are not inorganic. Organic are free, inorganic are paid. So now we know what is organic and what is inorganic. Our results which we see for free are basically an organic, which basically shows up in Google by its natural behavior, by the number of visits on that particular page, by the number of stars or number of reviews, by the popularity, by its popularity on the web. Okay, something like Today, Paradise Biryani doesn't have to do any ads. We'll just directly go and have a biryani. But if there's a new biryani shop comes in, they might have to do the ads. They might have to put the hoarding. They might have to put some mobile ads. They might have to put some Google ads. They might have to put some big hoardings because they wanted to attract. So they're paying money to the advertisement company. But which is already popular, they don't really have to do that advertisement. So that comes up naturally in the search. Something like if I ask Vasudha इधर बिरयानी का अच्छा मिलता है, you know what chef, यहाँ पर पैराडाइज है, वहाँ पे जबरदस्त बिरयानी मिलता है, let's go. So that's basically an organic. But if I'm seeing some hoarding in front of my office, okay, that basically a inorganic. So that's where I'm trying to try to look at in and around of our own circle to understand what is it, so that we learn those skills, the technical part of it. That's one of it. But yeah, now let's say in this particular page, what is organic and what is inorganic, how to identify that.
Where we are seeing ad in before that, no, that all inorganic.
Awesome. Yes, wherever we see this AD, these all are inorganic. And wherever we see this Udemy, generally a lot of people have started browsing Udemy. Even I'm also one of a user. I'm also doing one of the course on that. Okay. So Udemy, inorganic, bootcamp, full stack open, W3 schools, free code camp, Ishan Mehta's video. I'm one of a big fan of him, a follower of him. Look at his videos, lots of learning. Young champ, 20 years kid, but already a CEO of one of a startup called MarketUp. And that's a successful organization which is running. Okay, then these are all organic. And again, Scalar, Skill, Code Academy, then again, Upgrade, all these things simply done. All these things are inorganic. Udemy, we see organic, we see inorganic, both. Similarly, again, I refresh. Okay, again, Udemy came on organic. Now, Udemy has kept a setting that, okay, if some viewer is viewing once, that's more than enough. Don't show me my ad second time. So that's reason Udemy second time. Are we able to see? No, we are not able to see. They have a limitation of the budget. They would have kept a rule that show just one time, more than enough. We are already a popular. Again, one more refresh. So this person has a lot of budget. Upgrade, Simply Learn has a lot of budget. They're not running out of the budget. So now you see Code Time gone, Coding Ninja scheme. So this also keeps changing. The inorganic one, which are the paid one, based on the budget in the backend, what they have kept. So how to understand which company is investing heavily on digital marketing? Just run some searches like this and do some 3-4 refreshes. And if it is still showing up, then that means they have kept a heavy budget in the backend, so that for every search, their ad is showing up. For every search, their ad is showing up. So now again, Udemy came. After 5-6 refreshes, Udemy came. Let's do one more refresh. Again, Udemy gone. So Udemy, they're saying 5:1. Someone searching for 5 times, then show one. Maybe like 10 people are searching. Show only twice, not much, more than enough. But Upgrade is saying all 10. Let's go full on budget. So that's how we identify how heavily they are investing on a digital marketing stuff. And why we need to identify how heavily they are investing on a digital marketing stuff, to understand the pulse, where they stand currently, and how easy it is for us to get that client tomorrow. Tomorrow, let's say if we wanted to try get some client for our own business, then definitely doing some searches would really help us. Just to understand the pulse of the client, how invested are they, and does it make sense to reach out to them? If all this data, if you're connecting the dots correctly, we might arrive at the right point. As I mentioned, right now you might not understand the value of these particular basics, but tomorrow, once we get into the extensive level of sourcing, we'll have a proper understanding why are these all important. So yeah, what are organic and inorganic search results and how to identify them?
Shiv,
Any questions?
I have a point in my mind. Wanted to just share and seek your opinion as well. Every business at one point of time, they invest in inorganic, right? In order to reach that kind of customer base and become,
Mm-hmm.
a brand or a product or a service which becomes famous at the end, after a year.
We are losing you in between. We lost you.
Able to hear you.
Vasudha, either you're on mute or we lost you.
I think it was a bad network at my side. Sorry.
Yeah, please tell.
Were you able to hear my point, Shiv?
Now
Was I
we can
audible?
hear. No, I couldn't understand completely.
I'm saying that
Can you
every
please?
business, every product, or every service, when it starts, I'm sure they heavily require to invest in inorganic, right? So that they have a bigger market reach.
Hmm.
That's what.
Yeah. See, it depends on what stage they are, and definitely at one point, if they wanted to go full force, then definitely they come and do this paid ads. So at one point of time, majority of the companies, even why not? When a company is newly signed up, their website, Google, they themselves will give a 5,000 rupees credit to do this, a free credit of 5,000 rupees uh, to use it, or 5,000 or 50 USD or 100 USD, so that you use it in the beginning. And later on, if you wanted to still further invest, then you can continue the investing. But otherwise, Google, they themselves give. As soon as we open up any account search, now also we have some credit from the Google for Sourcing Express. I'm not utilizing it now. We'll utilize it at the right time. So that's about the organic and the inorganic. Any further doubts or questions on what is organic, what is inorganic, how to identify them?
No, Shiv, we are good.
Awesome. So what is people also ask in Google search suggestion or result? Or what is people also search for? So people also search for, we checked. Now let's say, what is software engineering? So here is a suggestion. Again, people also ask, that is again based on the past data. Whatever the, if people asked what is software engineering, then from that IP address, there are also people who has asked what is software engineering definition, what is software engineering with example, what is software engineering and its type, and is software engineering easy? Okay, so that's about people also ask. Now, what is people also asking, that is over, what is people also search for? One is ask for and the other is search for. So there is a difference, ask for and a search for. This is ask for. Now let's say here we have people also search for. Okay. Why is it important to understand what is people also ask for and what is people also search for? Let's say tomorrow, if I'm working for one company called, let's say, Zomato. We search for Zomato. Then we have people also ask for, it is giving us some competitors of Zomato. But again, people also search for, it is largely giving us a list of similar companies to Zomato, like Domino's, Blinkit, Flipkart, Talabot, KFC, BookMyShow, Paytm, McDonald's, Dunzo, Meesho, Instagram, all these things. So people who had searched for Zomato, Google is trying to again read that particular data and trying to show us from that use data. If someone has searched for Zomato, they would have searched for these also. And why they would have searched for this also, it could be for variety of reasons. It could be either for a food, it could be either for a online shopping, it could be either for a, uh, understanding a companies, it could be either for understanding a technology behind the company, it could be either for understanding the competitor of that company, it could be either, let's say I'm holding an offer from Zomato, but I'm also interviewing with Oyo, I'm also interviewing with Ola, I'm also interviewing with Uber. I'm just searching for those. So all these companies, if you see, in some or the other way, Zomato is doing a hiring from all these companies, are basically a competitors when it comes to a hiring. So someone who is working in either of this company, Zomato would be very keen to hire them. So similarly, let's say we search for, there might be a variety of reason these companies are showing up, but if you make a sense, these are actually a competitors of what are the company we are searching. Now, if I search for Infosys, we see TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, Accenture, HCL, Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, IBM, Mindtree, Deloitte, ITC, all those stuff. Some of the banking, because Infosys is also providing some of the services to their banking clients. But otherwise, if you see, almost all the companies are kind of a similar companies. So again, it's using a precise location. If you see here. So now let's say we would search for ICICI. People also search for all the banks or digital banks. Now let's say cryptocurrency. People also search for so less data is available. So again, as I mentioned, these searches, these suggestions would come from a huge data. So someone who has searched for cryptocurrency, not many searches has happened, but let's say blockchain. Not many searches. They show the top stories, all those stuff is there, but see more related searches. We have related searches. PHP. For PHP, we have again variety of programming languages, front end, back end, all those stuff. So yeah, I'll just take a pause. Any doubts on what is people also search for? Inorganic, people also ask and people also search. Are we good? Why it is useful? Tomorrow, whenever we are working for one or the other client, if we need to understand from where should I get the right profiles, then I would do definitely these searches. Now let's say we done Zomato once. We got a list of companies. Again, one or the other company. First, I'll take down this list. Again, I'll search for something else like Myntra. Again, we'll go. Again, 10 more. Again, I'll take a list. And there's another way also that we'll cover in our next session, not today, how to actually build a long list of competitors. So this is one of the way of it. But as I mentioned, in our next session, we'll try one more way of it. But yeah, I'll just take a pause for today's session. Any questions on all these topics?
Shiv, in one or two lines, could you please explain once again the difference between what is people ask for and what is people search for?
So people ask for is basically this one. Okay, when someone is asking what is software engineering, then people are also asking what is software engineering definition? Based on the past data, it's basically mostly related to the question. Okay, if we are asking some questions, then we have a list of additional questions what people are asking. And what people also search for is basically not a question or basic. Instead, it's basically a thing, like thing or product or anything like that. Something like if we search for Zomato, we have a list of companies people also search for, which are similar to the Zomato. And it's pretty evident that these are kind of a competitors for Zomato. If I'm hiring from these companies, Zomato is most probably willing to hire them from these companies. And it could be for a variety of reasons that people are searching. Whoever is searching for Zomato, whoever is searching for Myntra, they also search for this. It could be for a variety of reasons. It could be a offer shopping. It could be a technology understanding. It could be only food. It could be only understanding the architecture. It could be understanding the back end of it or technology behind it. All those. It could be variety of reasons. We don't know. There are 100 reasons to search. If I'm searching for Paytm, I might also search for uh, uh, Google Pay. I might also search for Phone Pay. So let's say if I'm downloading an application, Paytm, but it's taking time or it's not working, then immediately my next option would be, okay, fine, forget about Paytm. Let me download this thing, what we say, Phone Pay or Google Pay. So there could be a variety of reasons that immediately after searching something, we are searching for something else. And that is what is people also search for. Similarly, we are asking question. What is Myntra? Okay, then we have a people also ask for asking for a question, searching for a thing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sure.
Awesome. So yeah, any doubts in whole session for today? That's it. We're done for today's session. Any doubts, any confusion? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Tough to understand or easy to understand?
Actually, it was easy to understand, and I'm pretty much sure, like going forward, when we use it in our work, so it
Yeah.
would be really helpful.
If you have to do a tech hiring, look around you, connect how it is connected to the tech. Try understanding organic, inorganic, predictive, web, applications, types of applications. What are we using currently? Try to see in that point of view also, so that over a period of time, it will help us and it will make us easy to understand the requirements and to identify the right profiles. We all know we are using WhatsApp, but what is WhatsApp? It's a mobile application. We all know we are using LinkedIn, but what is LinkedIn? It is web application. We all know we are using Zoom, but what is Zoom? It is web, mobile, and desktop application. We are all using Outlook. What is that? It's a desktop application. So try to connect in that way also, so that it will help us to understand the variety of technologies easily once we connect to our day-to-day life. And then tomorrow when we work on actual JDs, it actually help us to understand the JD and to understand the kind of companies to target, to understand the kind of candidates to target easily. Yeah.
Shiv,
So
I have one
that's it for
question.
today. Yeah, Raghu.
Yeah, actually, for this competitor analysis, right? So
Mhm.
currently the approach I do is, for example, just an example, if I am working for example, what could be Amazon, for example. So I look for e-commerce. I mean, what I do generally is e-commerce companies in India. Then I get a list of e-commerce companies. Then I used to list them. That's how the process was actually. But this people also look for that generally don't give exact domain wise. Is there any way to find the exact domain wise company list?
We'll cover. As I mentioned, for now, today it's this much. In
Okay,
next
okay,
session, I'll tell you the other way of doing it.
okay.
How to
That will
basically
cover.
prepare a long list of competitors.
Okay, okay.
Shiv, I have
So
a question.
Mhm.
how soon are we going to have these sessions when it comes to this training and the learning part? Like today we had first session, and what are
Every day
you
we're going to
planning?
have a
What would
trainings.
be the, dates
No,
looking
no,
like?
it's every day now. Hello. It's every day from 10 to 12.
Every day, Monday to Friday, is that, or Monday
Monday
to
to Friday.
Saturday?
Yes, Monday to Friday. Every day, Monday to Friday.
Sure, I have.
Yeah, Saifa. Hema, please.
Yeah. So you were mentioning about the stack ranking of the digital marketing ads, right?
Hmm.
How does that happen? What is the technology behind that?
Digital marketing, that's just the SEO, search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm. It won't be like pay per click.
That's a part
I
of pay
mean,
per click,
I guess. Okay.
part of
Okay.
AdWords.
Mm-mm. Thank you.
Sir, can you also share your notes with us that you make so that we can also
It's pretty much shared in the
revise?
invite. You can go to that.
Sorry, little
We're losing you. Notes and all, everything is pretty much shared in the invite itself. The one which I posted on WhatsApp. In my signature, you will see a link to the Google Docs. Just go through that and you'll be able to see. So if you see like uh, for agency long back in 2009 or 2010, when I started my career, I had my own agency. That time itself, I've run these ads. So someone who was searching for placement consultant, job consultant, placement consultant, all these words, our ad was showing something like this. And then I've done for one of my cousin, my brother-in-law, uh, for their interior designs. He had an interior designing company, and for that also, I've set some words in a backend so that if someone is searching for that, then this particular company is used to show up.
Okay. Would we know what is trending?
Shiv, can you hear me?
Shiv, in case if you are speaking, you might be on mute.
Shiv, am I audible?
You are audible. I guess there is some issue with Shiv's.
So I was asking, and then suddenly, my network broke. So when are we having the next session? Did Shiv tell anything? I couldn't hear him.
The sessions are from Monday to Friday. I guess we will have tomorrow as well. So the only thing discussed was Monday to Friday we will have the sessions.
Are you speaking, Shiv?